All right, thanks for tuning into the Justin Comer Show. It is March 6, 2017, a Monday, and wow, it's incredible how quickly we've gone through the year so far. It feels like the inauguration was just yesterday, to be honest. 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, feels like 2 months, when we last witnessed the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump, walk into the Oval Office. And ever since he has walked in, it's just been a monumental avalanche of hell trying to knock him out of office, and his entire administration and his cabinet picks, delaying them. He's got 500 more seats he's got to fill, and they're not making it easy on him. They're trying to sabotage him in every direction. The global elites are really pushing their agenda now. And, I knew this, and I'm sure a lot of people did, that ever since he walked into the office, it would be hell to pay for us, but more so for them, because ultimately we will win this fight as long as we keep our heads together and we stick together and move on the ground, be active, not physical, not aggressive, but assertive, in a way so we can battle these people on the other side, these zombies. I mean, they are literal zombies on the other side that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. And ultimately, they will lose if we do not sit down on our asses and let them destroy us. Because if that's the only way they can kill us, is if we do nothing. That's the only way they can stop us, is if we do nothing. And so far, we're not doing anything. In regards to doing nothing. We are actually doing the opposite. And Saturday, we had a giant, 27 states had a giant march for Trump over the weekend. And a lot of people showed up, a lot of protesters showed up, and yeah, I got physical. There's video I'll probably play throughout my broadcast here that was just absolutely ridiculous, that were Trump supporters going on against these libtards on the streets that are totally filtered in and feeding what the mainstream media, the liberal media, is providing to them via the television. And, I tell all my friends, and I tell people, they really don't think about where the other side gets the news. On our side, on the right side of history, we're getting our news from reliable sources. At least we try to, because it's hard to filter out real news and fake news. And they're right now trying to, censor real news. They're really on the move to do that. And I'll tell you what, folks, on my side, that's not going to happen, because I'm trying to provide you real news that's happening on the spot in regards to what's happening with Jeff Sessions, what happened to Michael Flynn, how the deep state's basically overthrowing them via the CIA, leaking intel to the Washington Post of transcripts to Michael Flynn and the Russian ambassador. So, over sanctions, talking about sanctions, they weren't talking about specifics of sanctions. They were saying, yeah, sure, we'll set up a meeting for President Trump to talk with Putin about sanctions. That's not talking about sanctions. That's what happened in the telephone call. And, the White House acts like, oh my God, it's such a big deal. And the public and the media is like, holy God, did you see what happened with that? He violated the Logan Act. Well, I'd like for them to tell me how the Bilderberg Group isn't violating the Logan Act, okay? The most secretive group in the world isn't violating the Logan Act amongst private citizens and politicians and bankers? Yeah, okay, great. You tell me. In fact, I've actually thought about going to their next meeting. I got to find out when that is. I've tried looking it up, and it's hard because, they're really secretive about it. It hasn't really. They were worse about it 10 years ago. They wouldn't even put up a date of their meeting, and now now they got where it's going to be at. You can kind of find that out what day it's going to be on and what country, because they don't always meet in the same spot. They jump around for secrecy standpoints and privacy reasons. Because they don't want the public to know about their ultimate meetings, about how they're going to control the people through social engineering and the money standard systems and implode economies and things like that. They don't want you to know That's why you see a lot of craziness going on. That's why a lot of people my age are just totally sucked into it because they're not informed. I'm sorry, I jumped around a little bit. That's just what I do. If you're new to my show, new to my channel, new to my Facebook, go like it, go see my YouTube, go check everything out. I got links on my screen that provide at the beginning and the end of the shows, of the segments, where you can find all the great info I put up and the news articles. All I pretty much do is just put up news articles. And see, that's real. I put up real stuff that comes out. I'm not making anything up when I post these articles and stuff on my Facebook. It's absolutely, I'm just putting the headline on there so you can see it and read it for yourself. And then you can analyze it and determine what you think is wrong and right. I'm not going to sit there, sure, I'll put a brief summary on it, but I'm not going to sit there and force you to think what's wrong and right. Honestly, if you can't see what's right about it, then you're freaking stupid. But that's just my opinion. But you know, a lot of these kids get their news from Snopes, which is a known lying news organization with a husband and wife and their cat at home in California, I believe, that just pump out fake shit all the time. And people, anytime, I remember someone was showing me a story on Snopes about some guy dressed up in a clown costume that was hiding in a girl's room, and I was like, oh my god, what? And I didn't see what website it was on at the time. And I was like, what website is this on? I had to ask him, because every time I hear this crazy stuff that people say, I'm like, where did you find that from? Just because I'm so done. Like these people get it from news organizations that are just so illegitimate. They get it from Snapchat. They even get it from Snapchat. They get it from Facebook little these little pages that they like, and then they put out this new stuff, and I'm just like, oh my god, that's so fake. You can debunk that in 2 seconds if you know what you're doing. It's just things like that that really aggravate me. And my generation is a bunch of slum dogs, a bunch of morons roaming around like chickens with decapitated heads. UC Berkeley and things like that, and they're all just partying and they're all not keeping informed, and then they just listen to what the mainstream media is telling them in these fake news little sites that they can't verify or justify. Hell, even the Washington Post. The Washington Post, yes, is fake news. 98% of the time, it's fake news. There are some articles that come out that are like, all right, they got something right. Shit. But, majority of the time it's lying. But at least, if you're looking at the Washington Post, at least it's like, a previously credited news site. You're not getting it from some whack job and some kid sitting in his basement typing up shit, on the internet. And that's what I got a real problem with, is this whole fake news narrative. They're trying to discredit the alternative media as fake news so they can bring back credit to the mainstream media, which is never going to happen anymore. Okay, they've already discredited themselves so hard throughout this past election, this campaign cycle, which thank God Donald Trump won, or else we would be in a totally different state. I can't even imagine where we would be at right now if Hillary Clinton would have won the election. I can't even imagine what kind of position America would be on in relation to other countries, and especially Russia. Right now we're at the lowest DEFCON level, and I hope to keep it at that level. I believe Trump will. I have a full faith in Trump. I'm putting all my faith in Trump and God, and to see where this country moves. And so far, I'm pretty proud of it. He's doing great things. He just came out with his new travel ban right now, his terrorist-prone country travel ban. Thank God he did. I got an article right here. I got so much news here. So much news. I read some of it. I didn't get to read all of it, but I'm trying here. There's just a lot of stuff coming out in the news, and I don't have all the time in the world to do it, to read it all. But I'll tell you what. This is one of Trump's executive orders. One of the parts in his orders. And this is a headline from Breitbart's executive order. Trump's can't speak tonight. Trump's executive order mandates government reports on honor killings committed by migrants. Now, if you don't know what an honor killing is, it's basically it's taught in Islam that if a woman, particularly in the family, commits an act against what they deem is against Islam, they do just gruesome acts of violence on them. I don't even want to get into any rapidly serious details about that because some things I've read have scarred me, but it is on the Breitbart article here. There's a little link you can go to. I didn't go to it because I've already seen a few of them, and I'm just like, all right, I'm done. I'm not going to look at any more honor killings because it's just disgusting. It's disgraceful. It's deplorable. To use Hillary Clinton's own words against what she believed in bringing in. And I'm not saying all Muslims are bad. Okay, you know, this ban isn't a Muslim ban. Okay, do you understand that? The people watching, the liberals watching right now, do you understand that this ban and the previous ban was not a Muslim ban? Although I understand the previous ban was very quick, very far out there, somewhat far-fetched, but it was going to work. I knew exactly. No one really was against it. I was totally for it. I was like, okay, sure. You know, it might have caused a lot of chaos at the beginning, but this is at least giving a 10-day notice to say that we're going to block 6 countries. They took off Iraq because Iraq is already going through kind of its own filtration process and with passports and things like that Somalia isn't doing, which Somalia still sells women as slaves. And, you know, for the people that are supporting bringing them in, and they can make fake passports. It's admitted. It's on the BBC. Came out with an article that Somalia provides fake passports for migrants that want to travel abroad. That's on mainstream news. That's not just my opinion. That's real. That happens. That's reported, documented, period. Done. And we want to let in people that want that on record provide fake passports and sell women as slaves. Oh yeah, that's real. That's so real. And basically has a completely destabilized government, just like Libya, completely destabilized. You can thank Hillary Clinton for that in 2011. Okay, overthrowing Gaddafi. Yeah. It's aggravating. It's frustrating to me. I don't get it. Why people are just chanting in the streets, you know, F deportation. You know, it's like, I actually, I saw that somewhere. I saw their chant. Where's their chant? This is going to bother me if I don't look it up. Where's their chant? I had it. Well, I guess, but you know what I'm talking about. They're out in the streets, all these stupid idiots. Some of them are paid for by George Soros and Obama. Yeah, which, by the way, Obama lives 2 miles away from the White House now. In basically his own quote-unquote bunker. With, what's her name? Valerie Johnson? what's her face? That dumbass that lives with him. His sidekick. Saying that, and Eric Holder coming out saying that Obama is coming. He's coming back. He is the Messiah. He is Christ reincarnate. He's on his way, and he's not going to stop. He will take down Trump and all his affiliates and make him look so illegitimate. It'll go down in history. Well, Obama, you want to fight? Then bring it on. Because you're going to fail, buddy. You're going to fail, pal. You failed for 8 years. Didn't get shit done. Increase the debt ceiling by $10 trillion. More than any other president combined. Think about that. From George Washington to George Bush. And now Obama. And now Trump's stuck with the damn mess. More than any president combined, he increased the national debt by $10 trillion. And the GDP didn't go up above what? 2%? I believe, last time I checked. 1%. It was a horrible GDP year years for America for the past 8 years, 9 years. And our economy has sold out. NAFTA has destroyed us, bringing China and Mexico with no tariffs, putting export taxes on us, and fueling the train to ultimately destabilize our economy. Run us straight into the ground. That's why Chicago is a freaking failure. It's a mess. There's no jobs there. All of them left. Detroit, all of them left. All the car factories that were there. It was a massive production of cars there. Vehicles. And it's all gone. It all went to Mexico. All went to Mexico. By design. All gone. Okay, so I've broken down. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. I broke down the executive order mandates of honor killings that I really don't like talking about because it's horrified me. Some things I've seen. Disgusting. Revolting. Absolutely horrible. And you know what? Now they're going to say, okay, yeah, every single honor killing that happens, we're going to have on record. The DHS is going to send it to us, basically, so we can prove what we're doing is right and justified, which shouldn't even be questioned in the beginning. Okay? That's something that should be done. I don't understand how people could go against that. I don't understand how this women's march is pro-Sharia and all this crap when ultimately it's going to affect them. Women are totally, absolutely, 100% oppressed under Sharia law. More than any other form of religion ever. Ever. Period. The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. When we come back from this break, I'm gonna analyze what's happening with Jeff Sessions and why Michael Flynn got thrown out basically by Mike Pence, who is a neocon who's calling for the EU to say that we support the EU, and I'm gonna get into more of that. And just this crazy outrage that the left is having because Trump is doing what he promised. And they act like it's a surprise now. So stay with me. Thank you for tuning into the Justin Comer Show. I'm your host, Justin Comer. We'll be right back.